How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to M.A.D Reactions. God, happy Halloween, guys. Happy Halloween. I've got a great video for you guys, and this one is freaky as hell. I saw a couple last night, and I snatched a couple to put one out now for you, so I can watch this one with you. This is a new channel completely for me. I've not done these before. This is Mark Terror. Very good channel, seriously. It's in the story kind, so it's a really... This is 6 disturbing Halloween stories that you've not heard. I've not heard, and I hope you haven't. But if you have, let me know in the comments below, yeah? Let me know if you've heard these stories before. They're all real stories, all real true stories. So be warned. If they're anything like what I saw yesterday, they're really disturbed. So look, check him out, Mark Terror. Please check him out. Go to his channel, subscribe if you like his content. I'm sure you will. Lovely jubbly. And while you're at it, if you haven't subscribed to us, please do so. It's all free, and you become part of this crazy ass family that we got going on. We like to call it the Asylum because as we are all mad, hence the name. So yeah, all good. All right, you ready for this? Oh, strap yourselves up and grab that pillow. Honest to God, you're gonna need it. Let's rock and roll. Marked Terror.
Every October we tell the same stories. Ghosts, monsters, masks. But what happens when a town decides the story has gone too far?
We all love Halloween, don't we?
When they turn off the lights and never turn them back on. Across America, there are places where Halloween doesn't exist anymore, where the pumpkins rot unlit. And the word trick-or-treat hasn't been spoken in decades. Some bans came after tragedy, some after panic, and some after something no one could explain. 6 towns, 6 nights that ended the same way. With silence. Lock your doors, put on your headphones, because after this video, you'll never see Halloween the same way again.
Inspected, eh?
Deerfield, Illinois, the Candy Murders.
Oh. Deerfield, it sounds like the Halloween, doesn't it?
Halloween 1982 was supposed to be ordinary, a small town night of costumes and sugar highs, kids running door to door under orange porch lights, pillowcases heavy with candy. But by sundown, fear had already spread faster than any ghost story ever could. It began in Chicago, only 30 miles south of Deerfield. A young woman named Mary Kellerman, 12 years old, swallowed a capsule of extra-strength Tylenol for a headache. Moments later, she collapsed. By the end of the week, 6 more people were dead, all victims of cyanide-laced capsules purchased from store shelves across the region. No one knew who had done it. No one knew where the poison had come from. Television anchors called it the Tylenol murders. Stores stripped their shelves bare. Parents threw out everything in their medicine cabinet.
So people were going, someone obviously, or 1 or 2, whoever, were going into the shop and putting it in with the other ones that are on the shelf already, or putting it inside the boxes. Bloody hell, you vile git.
And everything in their children's trick-or-treat bags.
What?
That year, for the first time in American history, Halloween was cancelled. In Deerfield, the mayor issued an emergency curfew. No trick-or-treating, no parties, no masks. Police cars patrolled empty streets where pumpkins rotted unlit on porches. Local churches hosted safe nights indoors, handing out sealed candies from verified sources. But most families stayed home, their windows dark. The fear was microscopic, invisible, not monsters, not murderers, just a tiny white pill, the perfect Halloween killer. Investigators never caught the person responsible. To this day, no one knows whether the poisonings were random, targeted, or symbolic.
So why was they checking the sweets? If it was in the tablet, what's the sweets got to do with it?
But what they did know, what everyone knew, was that Halloween would never feel safe again. Over the following years, towns across Illinois banned homemade treats and unsealed candy. Children were told not to trust apples,
what?
Brownies, popcorn.
What? Not just apples? You ain't bloody Snow White? I mean, what? Eh? This is
balls.
nuts.
Anything that didn't come in plastic. Parents followed their kids with flashlights, scanning every wrapper for pinholes. A tradition that once celebrated imagination had become an exercise in suspicion. The masks were still there.
I mean, you know, it's becoming a real serious thing when kids' sweets are going through quarantine, you know? I mean, that's just... bloody hell.
But now they hid fear instead of fun. Decades later, Deerfield still remembers.
Wow.
Every October, the local paper reprints its 1982 headline,
Oh, Christ.
Halloween cancelled public safety warning. And beneath it, a single
Better
quote
no
from the
ghosts than
mayor
new
that
graves.
year, better no ghosts than new graves.
Jesus.
The Tylenol murders changed more than one night. They rewired the country's sense of
Wow.
trust. They turned candy into a weapon and laughter into paranoia. And even though trick-or-treating eventually returned, something in the air never quite healed.
I mean, how can you do that? I mean, I wouldn't know, neither would you, but I mean, like, why would you do, I mean, hurt anybody is wrong, but to hurt children, mate.
Ask anyone who lived through it, and they'll tell you,
What
the quiet
monster?
of that Halloween wasn't
Monsters.
peaceful. It was the sound of a country holding its breath, waiting to see if fear could be contained.
That's terrible.
It couldn't, because Halloween survived,
That is
but
terrible.
innocence didn't.
Absolute
And 5 years later, on Long Island, 3 teenagers would walk into the woods on Halloween night and never walk back out.
You're kidding me. Bloody hell, mate.
Oyster Bay, New York, the Long Island disappearance.
If anyone's heard of these stories before, or you've seen this before, this is completely new to me, 100%. So if you have heard of these before, please let me know, please, you know, in your comments.
Halloween night, 1977. The wind coming off the Long Island Sound carried the smell of sea salt and dead leaves. Teenagers roamed the streets of Oyster Bay, wrapped in thrift store costumes and plastic masks, the kind that stuck to your skin when you breathed. Among them were 3 friends, James Tully, 16, Erica Dunn, 15, and Mark DeLuca, 17. They never made it home. The last time anyone saw them was just after 9 p.m., walking toward a wooded path known locally as Hunter's Point.
Why are they walking towards the woods at 9 p.m? I mean, that seems a bit bloody. If they were going that way,
A shortcut between the town and the old train yard. Police later found candy scattered near the entrance.
it's like that. You know, what's that bloody Chucky Bang Bang? Children, got some sweeties for you. You know what I mean? Bloody hell.
Still in its wrappers. At first, no one
Child
panicked.
snatcher.
Teenagers vanished on Halloween all the time, only to show up hungover or embarrassed the next morning. But by sunrise, their bikes were still chained outside DeLuca's house. By November 2nd, Oyster Bay was in lockdown. Helicopters searched the coastline. Volunteers combed through the woods with flashlights and dogs. The trail of footprints ended halfway down the ridge. 3 sets going in, none coming out. For weeks, search teams found nothing except an old scarecrow, half buried under wet leaves. Its burlap head was gone. Rumors spread fast. Some said the teens had run away. Others said something was living in the woods, something that only came out once a year. Older residents whispered about the Oyster Bay Phantom, a story dating back to the 1940s, about a masked man who appeared on Halloween to frighten children. Before
Oh,
1977,
that's disgusting, man. That reminds me of Ed Gain. Look at that. That's Leatherface, isn't it? That is Leatherface to the bloody point.
it had always been a joke. It stopped
look.
being funny when police discovered what looked like a campsite deep in the woods. 3 sleeping bags, half burned, surrounding a circle of stones arranged in a spiral. There were no bodies, but nearby, carved into a tree, were 3 initials, J, E, and M fresh, clean, as if done the night before. The investigation stretched for months. No arrests, no remains. The case file, officially titled The Halloween Disappearances, remains open to this day. By the next October, the town council banned all Halloween celebrations. No costumes, no trick-or-treating. Even school parties were cancelled. A local priest told parishioners to keep their doors locked after dark, calling the holiday an invitation for evil. Parents didn't argue. They'd seen the search photos. For 20 years, Oyster Bay stayed dark on October 31st. Stores refused to sell masks. Police cars lined the streets at dusk. The woods around Hunter's Point were fenced off, marked private property, no entry.
I'm sure that if you were living there then and you had children, I'm sure you'd move. You would, wouldn't you? You would have sold up and moved. That you don't want to bring your kids in. No, that is some fucking creepy little town.
In 1998, after
Wow.
decades of silence, new development crews began clearing the area for housing. Within
shit.
weeks, work stopped. Bulldozers kept breaking down, and the crew reported hearing voices at night, laughter, and something heavier, like breathing through plastic. When they returned one morning, the site foreman found 3 orange Halloween masks hanging from a tree branch near the fence. No one claimed them. That same night, a local paper left a single line on its front page. 21 years later, they still haven't come home.
My goodness.
Today, Hunters Point is an overgrown lot. The town rebuilt, the stories faded, and children trick or treat again, but only downtown under lights. No one walks toward the woods, not even the police.
Okay, so where have they gone then? What? No bodies? No. Yeah, nothing's been found. No remains. No nothing. No clothes. Nothing. I mean, aliens, I suppose. You never know, do you? See, this is the thing. You think, oh yeah, someone's done this to them, or someone's done that to them, or this has happened to us. You don't know. Could have been taken up. Could have been zapped up. Spot could have had them.
Every Halloween, the local radio station plays a short segment from 1977, a recording of police scanners calling out the missing names one by one. It ends with silence, then static, and something faint in the background.
There you go.
3
Static. There you go. Tuning in.
knocks. Even now, no one's sure if it was part of the broadcast or something else on the tape. Oyster Bay still locks its doors on Halloween night. Some fears grow smaller with time. Others just learn how to hide better. And 16 years later, in Colorado, a masked man stepped out of a crowd during a Halloween parade, and the celebration was never held again.
Okay.
Gilchrist, Colorado, the Phantom of Gilchrist Road.
93.
Halloween night in Gilchrist, Colorado was supposed to be safe. The town's population barely topped 1,000, a handful of neighborhoods surrounded by fields and silence. Every year, the police department hosted the Safe Halloween Parade, a small-town tradition meant to keep kids off the dark highways.
Yeah, man.
Parents lined the main street, children marched in costume, and for once, the monsters were make-believe. That changed in 1993.
I mean, it's nice that they do that, don't get me wrong, but you shouldn't have to do that, you know? If there wasn't so much evil in the world, you know? If there wasn't so many bad people that do bad, horrible stuff, our kids would be able to enjoy, you know?
The parade began at 7:00
Bloody
p.m. sharp, led by a police cruiser and a marching band. At the end of the route, near Gilchrist Road, stood a small stage built for the costume contest. It was the same as always. Plastic pumpkins, orange lights, the faint smell of hay and cold air.
I like them beanbags, they're cool as hell, and they look like pumpkins. That's cool, that's cool.
Then someone
that.
new appeared. Witnesses say he came from behind the school gym wearing a full-face mask, white, featureless, polished like porcelain.
Like
At
Red
first,
Dwarf.
everyone thought he was part of the show. He waved at the crowd, silent, holding a black bag. When the host asked for his name, he didn't answer. He just reached into the bag and tossed out handfuls of candy. Children rushed forward, parents clapped, and then, one by one, the kids started crying. The candy wasn't candy. It was razor blades wrapped in foil.
My God.
By the time police reached the stage, the man was gone. Witnesses said he walked calmly toward Gilchrist Road and disappeared behind the trees.
What kind of evil monster does that sort of shit? I mean, Jesus Christ almighty. You know? If you're a big do, a big community do, everyone's there, all the town's there, and some guy's there in fancy dress because we're Halloween, giving out sweets. Yeah, go on in, go and grab yourself some sweets, so, innit? You can see where your kid's going. Wherein the last thing in your mind of thoughts of thought, that is going to happen. Kids are just going to go straight away, aren't they? Jump, jump. Jesus Christ, and razor blades as well. You know what a razor blade can cut? My God. My God.
Officers searched for hours.
Wow.
No footprints, no car,
Vile.
nothing. Only a trail of broken
Vile
foil
monster.
leading into the fields. The next morning, local news crews flooded the town. Headlines called it the Phantom of Gilchrist Road. Parents demanded answers.
Yeah.
The police blamed copycats or pranksters. But there were details no one could explain. The blades were clean, unused, and all stamped with serial numbers from a...
I know it makes no sense, it makes no relevance whatsoever, but where you just said, oh, they were clean and unused, thank God. I mean, if it's going to happen at all, you'd want a clean new one, wouldn't you? Oh my God, you know?
brand discontinued in 1984, 9 years earlier. No one was hurt that night, but fear did the rest. Stores pulled candy from shelves, churches cancelled events. By evening, the mayor declared an emergency ban on Halloween festivities until further notice. The town didn't celebrate again for over a decade.
No more.
In the months that followed, more strange reports surfaced. Residents near Gilchrist Road claimed to see a man standing at the edge of the fields just before dawn. Tall, thin, wearing the same white mask. He never moved. He just faced the houses, perfectly still until the sun came up. Police found no tracks in the dirt.
So if he was there before dawn, and he was there just before the sun came up, he stayed until the sun came up, then why didn't the old Bill go and nick him? Or pull him up? Say, hang on a minute, mate, you look like the geezer that was giving out razor blades. You know? Just let him wander off.
Then on October 30th, 1994, exactly 1 year later, the town's only candy factory burned down. No injuries, no cause ever determined. But firefighters swore they saw someone watching from the opposite field, the same pale reflection glinting through the smoke. After that, Gilchrist shut down Halloween entirely. No trick-or-treating, no costumes, no lights. Every October, flyers still go up on telephone poles reminding residents to stay indoors after dark. Today, the story survives mostly as a local warning. The old parade stage has been torn down, replaced by a parking lot, but every few years someone claims to see the mask again, not in person, but in photographs. Reflections in windows, rear-view mirrors, always the same face, blank, porcelain, waiting. One retired officer who worked the case said he still keeps the bag of razor blades in evidence storage. He's never opened it. You can seal evil in a plastic bag, he said, but that doesn't mean it stops breathing. And every Halloween, when the wind cuts across the fields, people say it sounds like metal scraping glass, a whispering sound like something sharpening itself for the night. Gilchrist banned Halloween.
Oh, it's like not Edward Scissorhands, bloody Freddy, innit? Freddy Krueger. Ding, ding. You know, oh, bloody hell.
Halloween for good in 1993. No one ever lifted the order, and maybe they shouldn't. Because sometimes it's not the ghost you need to fear, it's the mask that doesn't blink.
God, yeah.
But in New Hampshire, a single spark turned Halloween into ash, and the town never lit a candle again.
Good channel, isn't it? Enjoying this? I thought you would. I hope so.
Keene, New Hampshire. The fire on Lantern Street. Every Halloween, Keene's Lantern Street glowed like a river of fire. Jack-o'-lanterns lined the sidewalks, every porch lit with carved faces and...
I'll tell you what, quickly, before we go any further, can I just say, yeah, when it comes to, like, festivities, like Christmas, Halloween, blah, 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 I mean, England do it, we do it, you know, we do, there are houses in England that go to the, you know, full heat and get it out and make it all look pretty and everything. And then, you know, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, blah, blah, blah. But I tell you what, I've never been anywhere, so it's not like in the sense of I've travelled, but what I've seen on the TV, what I've seen, right, with America, the way you do your houses up and your streets at Christmas or Halloween, honest to God, if I had a hat on, I'd take it off to you. It's beautiful. I'll tell you, you smash it. It absolutely, it's brilliant. So well done, you lot. Make it the balls, you really do.
Candlelight.
Lovely.
For 30 years, it had been the pride of the town, a living postcard of small-town America. But in 1962, the lights went out, and they never truly came back. The night began perfectly. Children in homemade costumes ran between houses, their laughter echoing through the crisp autumn air. At 8:17 p.m., a single scream cut through the noise, then another. By 8:20, the first house was burning. Witnesses later said the flames spread unnaturally fast. leaping
Oh
across
my
porches
God.
as if the air itself had caught fire. Neighbors tried to douse it with garden hoses,
Oh,
but the wind turned against them, driving sparks into dry leaves and paper decorations.
bloody
Within minutes,
hell.
3 homes were ablaze. By the time fire crews arrived, the entire block looked like it had been painted in orange light. 12 people died that night, 7 of them children. The official report blamed
shit.
faulty wiring in a jack-o'-lantern display.
Oh
A
my God. Well, that's a carnage, man. Poor little, poor... God bless
candle
his
that
soul,
tipped into a
man.
pile of hay, but the survivors swore the fire started higher up, on the porch roof, where no candle had ever been placed. The tragedy made national news. Headlines called it the Halloween Inferno. Within days, Keene passed a new ordinance. No open flames, no paper decorations, no outdoor lighting of any kind on October 31st. The town cancelled trick-or-treating indefinitely.
Jesus.
At first it was meant to be temporary, a year of mourning, maybe 2. But something about the street never felt right again. Even after the ashes were cleared and the homes rebuilt, residents reported hearing the
Shocking.
faint crackle of
That is
fire in the
terrible.
distance whenever the air turned cold.
The thing is, though, when you got these, like, a lot of these houses have got wooden cladding, you know, it's how they're built. So obviously, sorry to say, but I bet they are quite fireable, you know, it's like, I bet the old fire can pick up on them quite quickly. And having them lit pumpkins and candles outside, I mean, he said that they started on the roof. However, makes you think, though, doesn't it? And having all these naked flames everywhere, and then, bloody hell.
Dogs
mate.
refused to walk that block. Mail carriers crossed the street rather than pass it. By the 1970s, locals started calling it Ghost Street.
Terrible.
Every Halloween, people claimed to see flickers of orange light dancing behind the windows of the rebuilt houses,
Ah.
like candles moving on their own. Firefighters investigated dozens of calls over the years, but never found heat, flame, or even smoke. Just the smell of burned wood that vanished as soon as the wind shifted.
See what I mean?
The strangest
Burned wood.
report came in 1981. A group of college students from Keene State decided to film a short documentary about the fire. They set up cameras along Lantern Street, recording from dusk until midnight. When they reviewed the footage, the tape showed something no one remembered seeing. For exactly 3 seconds, all 6 houses on the block lit up
my
at once,
God. Oh
each
my
window
God.
glowing orange, each doorway flickering like an open flame. Then darkness. Investigators examined the tape. No edits, no exposure errors.
Wow.
Just 3 seconds of light. The same houses, the same alignment, exactly as it had looked in 1962.
Oh my
Today, Lantern
Oh
Street
my
looks
God.
ordinary. The homes are quiet, the lawns trimmed, the porches electric lit. But every Halloween, the city still turns off power to the entire block at sundown. No decorations, no gatherings, no candles. Ask the residents why, and they'll give you the same answer. Because sometimes fire doesn't forget where it started. The old-timers say if you stand at the intersection after midnight, you can still hear faint laughter under the wind, children's voices echoing through the dark. And if you follow it,
Pure.
it leads you straight to the middle of the street, where the pavement is just a shade darker than the rest.
Look at that! Look at that! Burnt by the oh my goodness! Look at this! Burnt by the flames and the fire. Jesus Christ, or bloody mighty! I've seen another thing like that in Hiroshima, where there's stains of people walking up steps. Just shows how hot that was.
A scar that no storm has ever washed away. Keene rebuilt, but Halloween never did, because there are fires you can put out, and others that burn in the air forever. And 40 years later, in Minnesota, a Halloween parade would end in sirens, smoke, and a different kind of poison.
What?
Jordan, Minnesota.
Yeah,
report-
as I said earlier, if you have heard of these stories, it's all new to me. So please let me know your you know, your little bit of input if you've got any in regards to these. Be well, you know, good to hear from, mate.
Poisoned parade. For nearly 50 years, Halloween in Jordan, Minnesota had been a small town tradition. One main street, a local marching band, and floats built by hand in people's garages. In 2004, the town decided to make it bigger. Fireworks, food stands, even a harvest parade to end the night. It was meant to be a symbol of safety after the fear of 9/11, a way to bring families back together. Instead, it became a day the town has tried to erase. The first siren sounded at 8:42 p.m. Witnesses described the moment as instant panic. Children began coughing mid-parade, clutching their throats. Parents screamed. Within minutes, dozens were on the ground, gasping for air. The fireworks had just started when the smoke changed color from bright white to a pale chemical green. Local firefighters thought it was a malfunction, but when they approached, they felt it too. A burning in their lungs, a taste like rust and metal. They evacuated the entire block within 15 minutes. By midnight, 1 person was dead, 23 hospitalized, and more than 200 treated for chemical exposure. At first, officials suspected a gas leak, but the readings didn't match. Then they discovered that the fireworks used that night weren't from the town's usual supplier. The company that provided them, High Star Pyrotechnics, was unlicensed, operating out of...
Look at the state. Oh, shit. So it's a backhand... Yeah, out the... Oh, bloody hell, off the back end of a lorry sort of thing. Jesus Christ. But why would you sell crooked fireworks to people, mate? What the hell?
An abandoned warehouse in St. Paul. Inside the remaining crates were homemade smoke bombs, packed with a compound similar to chlorine trioxide, an unstable oxidizer that can form toxic gas when burned. The fumes spread over Main Street like a low invisible cloud. The investigation revealed something worse. The fireworks had been purchased online by a private volunteer who wanted a brighter show.
I mean, whoever was selling them, these dodgy fireworks, they knew where they were going to. They knew the whole town were going to be stood there watching. Children and everything.
He'd used his own credit card, never realizing the company's address was fake. The man was never charged. The supplier was never found.
Or did he? Did he just think, oh, hang on a minute, I might know Bob down the road here, like, you know, might be able to get a load of half-price bloody fireworks. Never cut corners when it comes to things like that, especially when it comes to your health.
High Star Pyrotechnics disappeared from the internet a week later. The town was devastated. News stations called it the Poisoned Parade. Parents called it murder. Jordan cancelled all public Halloween events indefinitely. Trick-or-treating was banned for 15 years.
Smoke. Look
Children...
at the green smoke. Look at that. Shite. That's shocking, man.
Grew up hearing about the smoke that killed Halloween, but the physical scars remained. Residents said the air near Main Street smelled metallic for months afterward.
Hang on a minute. Right,
Remained.
Watch this. Look.
Residents said the air near Main Street
How is that tree? There's nothing there.
smelled metallic.
How can that? How can that?
But the
tree...
physical scars remained.
Hang on.
Residents said the air near Main Street smelled metallic.
How the hell is that tree still there when there's no base to it?
For months afterward. The town cut down all the trees on the parade route after leaves began withering mid-season. Even the asphalt turned green in patches that never fully faded, a strange chemical bloom that no lab could identify. A local teacher named Laura Gentry later collected testimonies from survivors for a community archive. One quote from a fireman still circulates online. The smoke moved like it knew where we were standing. It didn't drift. It crawled. By 2019, Jordan cautiously reinstated Halloween under strict safety codes. No fireworks, no parades, no open-air gatherings. But attendance remains thin. Most families drive to other towns for trick-or-treating, leaving Jordan's streets eerily quiet each October. The few who stay claim that on still nights, a faint haze settles over Main Street around 9 p.m. Not fog, not smoke, just a thin green shimmer under the streetlights. When it appears, people say the air feels colder, metallic, and every sound grows distant, as if the town is holding its breath.
So it's got its own real... Town's got its own proper horror story, his own Halloween, their own real Halloween horror story, you know? Oh, wow.
Authorities dismiss it as urban legend, but even they refuse to work the night shift on Halloween. Today, the parade floats are gone. The band room is silent, and the memory of that green smoke lingers like a warning you can still taste. Halloween returned to Jordan, but the laughter never did, because some ghosts don't haunt houses. They haunt the air itself. And in one last town, one that refuses to name itself, Halloween is still banned, not because of what happened, but because of what keeps happening.
Eh? What keeps happening?
The town that still locks its doors, the blackout of '74. There's a town that doesn't show up on most maps, not because it vanished, but because it asked to be forgotten. Locals call it the quiet place. Those who've driven through remember only one thing. Every house has a lock on the outside of its front door.
On the outside of the... Oh my goodness gracious me, this is a bloody vampire town.
The story begins in October 1974. Halloween fell on a Thursday that year. A small church-centered community, population under 3,000, planned its first ever town-wide festival. Bonfires, costumes, children dressed as angels and devils walking side by side down a single road that led to the church. By 7 p.m., the entire town had gathered. By 7:13, the lights went out. The blackout lasted just under 3 hours. When power returned, 13 people were dead. The official record says...
What? 13 people? Oh my...
Electrical malfunction. The survivors tell another story. They say the air turned cold like a storm with no wind, that something moved through the dark. Not fast, not slow, just steady. Whispers filled the street. And then, screams. When light returned, the church was open. The doors, solid oak, built to withstand wind and time, had been torn from their hinges. Inside, pews were overturned, and candles were scattered across the floor in a perfect circle. No one saw who lit them. No one could say what they were arranged around. All that remained was the smell of sulfur and wet earth. The victims...
Sulfur and wet... Vampires. Told ya.
Were found in groups, as if they'd tried to hide together. No fire, no weapon, no cause of death, just faces twisted in shock and eyes so dilated they reflected the candlelight like mirrors. After that night, the town council banned Halloween completely. No decorations, no costumes, no mention of the word. Children born after 1974 grew up without ever celebrating. If asked why, parents gave the same answer. Because something walked with us that night, and it never left. Outsiders began calling it the blackout town. Over the decades, it faded from maps, deliberately. Postal routes changed, roads were renamed, even the county records were merged with the next district over. But satellite images show a small grid of lights, evenly spaced, and a single structure standing apart from the rest, the church. Its roof collapsed long ago, but its bell still rings. Always once, always at 7:13 p.m. every October 31st. There's no wind that night, no one answers the sound, and the people who still live there, a few hundred maybe less, don't open their doors.
I wonder if it rings tomorrow night. Yeah, it's the 31st tomorrow night, isn't it? I wonder if it rings tomorrow night. Oh, wow.
They lock them from the outside. In 2011, a paranormal research team tried to locate the town using archived coordinates. Their footage never aired. One recovered audio clip lasts 48 seconds. It begins with static, then a voice whispering, "We shouldn't be here," followed by a single word spoken by something else, lower, distorted, almost human. "Stay." The file ends with the sound...
What the...
else, lower, distorted...
What the bloody hell is that? That's a man on foot.
"We shouldn't be here," followed by a single word spoken by something else, lower, distorted, almost human. "Stay." The file spoken by... Then a voice whispering, "We shouldn't be here," followed by a single word spoken by something else, lower, distorted, almost human.
What the hell is that? Is that actual foot? Is that the footage? What the bloody hell is that?
Followed by
That's a person.
Single word spoken by something else, lower, distorted, almost human. "Stay." The file ends with the sound of a door slamming shut. The team was found the next morning, their van parked on an unnamed road between two counties. All of them asleep unharmed, but with burns on their palms in the shape of keys. No one has gone back since. The town still stands. No signs, no visitors, no celebrations. Every October, the lights turn off at 7 p.m. and the church bell rings 13 minutes later, exactly once. Then silence. Maybe it was hysteria. Maybe it was something else. But some places don't recover from fear. They evolve around it. And if you ever find yourself driving through the Midwest on Halloween night and the radio cuts to static, and you see houses with locks on the outside, don't stop. Don't look for the church. And whatever you do, don't wait for the bell.
No.
Because some towns don't just cancel Halloween, they bury it alive.
Boy,
6
mate.
towns that cancelled Halloween, and the real reason why.
Bloody hell. Whoa, that was a bit freaky, wasn't it? Jesus Christ. And that is like real, that's a real stories. Real stories. Bloody hell, eh? The towns that cancelled bloody Halloween. Well, I tell you what, that is just something else, ladies and gents. That is something else. You learn something every day, didn't you? So look, please check out Mark Terror. That is bonkers. What a bonkers channel. Once you've watched this, right, I've got something else for you, right? So, roll over, baby. Check out the next one, yeah? I'll see you there. Take care. Love ya. See you soon.